If you hand me one off camera, that'll be fine. Oh, are we recording?
Yes, we are.
Sorry. But seriously though, if you hand me a shot off camera, I will do it. Hi. So, welcome back.
Or welcome if this is your first time.
If this is your first time, you got a lot to catch up on, and it's just as bad as this one's going to be.
Yeah,
so.
Probably. We'll get this figured out one day. One day I will not look like a ghost. I promise.
Ooh, spooky doochies.
This time it's in theme because we watched a ghost movie.
Yes. So this week we're doing something just a little different. So you're going to notice that this video is probably going to come up out of order. So it's going to be like, hey, we're watching this movie. Next week we're going to watch this movie. We realized that next Monday is, well, I guess it'd be this Monday when this comes out.
Well, so we're 3 weeks ahead.
Yes.
And Valentine's Day is in 2 weeks, which means we need to just flip.
Yeah.
So that we can have a Valentine's Day movie on.
Yeah. We want to stay on theme. So this week we've got a Valentine's Day movie for you. And like I said, it's going to be a little out of order, but you know what? We're not professionals, so don't hold us to any kind of, standard.
Once they're all out, I'll go back to the playlist and make sure that you're watching in proper chronological order rather than release order.
Sure, yeah. And then, or at least we'll suggest a hatchet order at the bottom that you can watch.
Hatchet, not machete.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, hatchet. We're totally hatchet.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Or is it ratchet?
It's ratchet.
It's ratchet. Yeah. So, as I said, welcome. This week we're doing a ghost movie, and we're also doing a Valentine's Day movie. And it was my week to suggest something. This was my way of getting back at you for doubling up on me. So I had Nick watch My Bloody Valentine, and I believe it was
1981 for My Bloody Valentine.
81, yeah. There's one in the 2000s too, but it's not.
We didn't watch that one.
Yeah, and so I mean, if you feel like doing a double feature for both movies, I mean, have at it.
I've never. So we watched My Bloody Valentine, the 1981, and then we also watched The Fog.
The Fog,
which was a 1981 also, or 1980 also, 81 like space ONE 2, 1981 too.
Yes. God, that was a tongue twister.
It's numbers in a row that just kind of, you need to see it written.
But so the reason I wanted Nick to watch The Fog was when I was a kid, that movie scared the shit out of me. But I mean, I was a kid, so I didn't know what good horror was.
No, so let's talk about The Fog first, I think, because I don't know that there's necessarily a whole lot to say about it, because it's on the surface a relatively simple like ghost movie. And I thought it was pretty good. I mean, when it's John, like first it showed up and like it's John Carpenter's The Fog. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was a John Carpenter's movie.
Yeah.
And then like when I pulled up the DVD menu or whatever, and it showed like just kind of like a character. I'm like, is that oh geez, I'm blanking on her name already. The girl from Halloween,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it showed like a still. I'm like, is that Jamie Lee Curtis? I'm like, oh damn, okay. It turns out she was the only one in the movie that I knew. There was the main character, Nick. He looked familiar. And I'm like, man, he looks like the guy from Lost Skeleton of Cadavra. Just like, he looked like Dr. Roger Fleming. But he wasn't. He just kind of looked like it. So I looked him up to see, like what do I know him from? Turns out I don't know him from anything. But as luck would have it, he was in My Bloody Valentine from 2009.
Oh.
The remake version of it. I'm like, oh, we've got a little connection here that we didn't mean to.
What, 4 degrees of Bloody Valentine?
Yeah. If we're doing 6 degrees of separation, I think I was like at a 4 or 5. Because when I was in my lab college and partner was in Othello or O when it was in town and they were shooting when they needed extras. He was one of the guys on the basketball court during one of the scenes.
Okay.
And then like he connects to this person, connects to Kevin Bacon, so I'm like 4. Which means that you're at least a 5.
Oh, please, someone say that movie.
So you're at least a Kevin Bacon 5.
Hey, all right, I'll take it. I mean,
for the 6 degrees of Kevin, or for
Kevin Bacon. It's a beautiful man, and he's named after a tasty breakfast meat. Anyways, I'm surprised that you liked it.
I mean, it's very simple and just kind of, classic, and it's telling for the most part. In that it's just like, do you want to? It's a movie from the 80s. Do we just want to talk about it and spoilers be damned?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, if you haven't seen either one of these movies, I mean, turn it off now because we're going to talk about spoilers. We say
They're
this
also
every video.
they're also 40 years old at this point too.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, you have some of the younger people. It's like, let's watch these two old farts like talk about movies that we don't give a shit about. So,
Yeah, so if you, I mean, these movies are from before I was born, so they're particularly old.
I was a little guy. I was very, very small.
And I think that's kind of what the theming was, is you had two movies that kind of like messed you up as a kid. It was The Fog and My Bloody Valentine, just for various scenes or whatever it was.
So, okay, so we're in spoiler territory. So
Yes,
before we do that, let's go ahead and give it your rating.
I think I would give The Fog 6. Out of
Okay.
10. Just because I think it's slightly above average.
See, I give it a 7. Nostalgia makes me want to give it an 8.
Oh yeah.
But because I remembered like that last scene where it's just like, oh my god, what's happening? What's happening to all of us? And you kept seeing like the gaffy hooks and stuff like that coming out of the fog and stuff like that. And then you get to the end of it, and you have zombie ghost pirate men.
Yeah, they're essentially just ghosts, but they look kind of like they did at the bottom of the sea or whatever. So
Yeah.
they're kind of undead-like.
But I just love that one scene where it's like, they had the light behind them with the fog in the building, and they're all just kind of like standing there, like watching her, and she's like, "What do you want?" you know. But I remember that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, and I thought it had a neat twist at the end with the gold, and
Yeah.
I also thought it was just one of those movies that really kind of stuck with me. And the funny part is that I remember last week when we were talking about it after we finished recording, and I was like, okay, so we're going to watch The Fog, and went through the DVDs, found it, and it was like, this got Jamie Lee Curtis in it. And then we watched the trailer, and she was nowhere in the trailer.
No, she was. I don't think she was the name at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably before Halloween, right?
Yes.
So she wasn't a breakout star yet. She was just kind of hitchhiker on road.
Yes. We don't know that for a fact, so anybody that's like, I do believe she did Halloween for... We don't give a shit.
I mean, it's John...
So.
Because John Carpenter did Halloween as well, right? I think so.
Yes.
Because I know that he's got a penance for doing music for this as well, because he wrote the music for The Fog, and I think he also did the music for Halloween.
Okay.
Like, he's a musician in addition to being a filmmaker. From what I understand, at least.
All right. Well, I did not know that.
See, that's the sort of stuff I pick up watching like Red Letter Media, when they essentially ranked every John Carpenter movie, and there was a bunch of them, and you would think like, man, I watched all of them, so I should remember The Fog. I'm like, I'm not. They rapid fire through every single movie ever. I don't remember The Fog.
I'd like to actually know what they gave it, because I love the movie.
I did enjoy it, and it's just kind of a sort of classic ghost story where like 100 years ago, 6 conspirators, and like one of which being the father of a church. It's like, we're going to kill these people, take their money, and we're going to use this money to turn our like little hamlet into a real town. And so they did. And then 100 years later, the ghosts of the people who died are like, well, you killed 6 of you. Conspired against us. Now we're going to come back and kill 6 of you.
Which is kind of fucked up, because like those are like the children of the children kind of a thing. So it's like they didn't do anything wrong.
So the sins of the father.
Yeah, but still, like I don't want anybody like knocking on my door, like like 200-year-old mummy come knocking on the door and be like, so your great grandfather stepped on my foot, and now I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And I
mean, 100 years doesn't great grandfather. That's just grandfather, maybe potentially.
Yeah.
Because the father was old. He was probably already in the sex days.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, still, it's just 100 years. It's like there's got to be a statute of limitations on that.
Of ghost murder. I mean, I'll let the ghosts know.
But I mean, they know where their gold is. Why didn't they just go in, grab it, and then just dip?
Well, and the thing, I don't think it. Except at the end of the movie, he's like they knock down the little bricks of the church, and where they found like the book of the sins, essentially. Like, we committed this heinous act against these people, and they're like, well, let's keep looking. And then here's a gold crucifix. Maybe we should give it back to him. So they give the crucifix back to the ghosts, and the ghosts like disappear, and they're like, oh, cool, we did it. And then like the thing right before the credits roll, the ghosts come back to get the father to be like, nah, we had it. You gave us some heavy gold. We had to bring it back to the ship. Now we decided to come back for you.
Yeah, well, it's probably on the way out. They had like the gold cross and everything, and that one guy's like, we waited 100 years to like stick that guy in the face. I mean, he's like right over there.
It's okay, we might as well just go get him.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to wait 100 more years if we leave now. So why not? Plus, you're hooking a father in the eye socket, so why not? But I'm kidding. I love priests. because I was loved by a priest when I was a kid. Anyways.
I have a perfect thing to laugh about.
But yeah, so I'm glad you liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything more to say about it?
I mean, there's no. It's sort of just a very, I don't know, paint by numbers sort of movie. Like, you get the setup of like, oh man, all these electronics are going weird in town, and like, oh, the fog's moving against the wind, and then just the pirates come out of the fog and murder people. Then they murder 6 people and they go away.
Yeah, see, in watching the movie that we watched tonight, and watching that, and then I've seen some other like old school like 80s movies recently, and it's like, I honestly feel like sometimes people are just sitting around at a table and they're just like, so what household everyday item can we make scary?
The lamp. Ooh.
Yeah, ooh, or the countertop. It's like, okay, let's make countertops scary again. Well, they were never scary in the first place. Well, fuck it, let's be the first. You know, some guy was riding through the fog and they're like, this is kind of spooky.
Yeah, maybe
I got it.
Let's do a movie or a TV show, whatever it is, about killer pants. Call it slacks.
Yeah, we've been challenged by one of our watchers to watch that.
Now we're gonna get challenged to watch a bunch of weird stuff that we've probably never heard of.
Yeah, well,
Which I wish I had more weird stuff that you never heard of, but most of my weird stuff is gonna be super weird.
But yeah, we might have to have a separate channel going saying you can't find these movies unless you're at Walmart at the $5 bin right at the right time.
Yeah, it's for my movies at least. At least some of the ones like. If we're looking for horror movies, there's at least Shudder for that, from what I understand. I need to actually look over the service to see what kind of movies it's got on it.
That, and one of our viewers, Tim, talking to you. I'm also talking to you because he's sitting right over there. He's challenged us to watch a couple of weird ones, and what we've been saying the past couple of weeks is if there's a movie you want us to watch, just like put it down in the comments, you know, and who knows. One week when it's kind of slow, or if we just don't have anything that's really grabbing our interest.
I mean, this have you seen format is kind of loose. You could be asking us if we've seen.
Yeah.
And maybe we haven't. And then, you know, you'll save us from digging the bottom of the barrel and being like, Geisha Assassin, have you ever heard of that movie? No?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I hope it's buyable somewhere still.
Oh, God, have we hit the bottom of the barrel already and we're only like 11 videos in?
Well, for you, it's going to be easy. Like, I've not seen a lot of movies.
You watched 365 of them last year.
I know. And still, I'm missing. Like, they keep making movies. They've been making movies a long time, and there's a lot of them I just didn't watch. I mean, like, the movies I watched last year, like, during March, I watched Marvel movies because it was Marvel March in my head. So I just watched all the Marvel movies in a row.
Well, that makes sense to me.
But that means I didn't really watch any new movies. I just kind of revisited ones I already knew I liked. Went back to kind of I wanted to watch movies I'd never seen before, but also revisit some movies I just hadn't seen in a long time.
I think the Marvel movies, there's only, 16 of them?
There's more than that, I think.
Or maybe there's 20?
It's probably close. It's a lot.
So what'd you do for the other, 10 days?
Like Spider-Man and the X-Men movies. Because that was the month I'd watched. I finally got to the later X-Men movies, the ones that I'd never seen before.
Like
the
Phoenix
Apocalypse
one?
And Dark Phoenix. Just because I didn't want to see them in theaters, but I had to pay for it. So I watched them on a streaming service that I was already technically paying for.
So you still paid for it?
In a tiny, much smaller. It's not like I gave them here's $20 so I could watch your movie. It's more like here's 3 cents so I can watch your movie.
Okay. I think you did it the right way.
Yeah.
Still, the Quicksilver scene is still dope.
The one where he threw everyone out of the mansion?
Yeah.
That's not those people are dead.
It had Pizza Dog. I love Pizza Dog.
They have taken Quicksilver's power to such a stupid level that it's kind of like. Well, he should just win every fight automatically.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's bad. That's bad movie making.
That's not bad. It's a power.
It's bad movie making because now you're just watching the movie being like, why doesn't Quicksilver solve this problem? And then during the scene, well, Quicksilver could solve this problem. Just in this one, it's like, Quicksilver could have done this in a minute. And
you can't do that because every summer it'd be like, this summer coming out in March, Quicksilver. Yeah. And after that, April, Quicksilver 3.
You're right. You can't do that. That's why I didn't like to see.
Still, super speed is the best superpower.
It's not.
Okay. Then why would he win every fight?
Because they dramatically lower everyone else to the point where
Xavier's still the strongest guy and
Xavier's but Xavier does a thing and then he's like, oh, I'm unconscious now.
Okay, Tim, we're on a tangent. We need you to throw in on this. What's the best superpower? What do you mean you don't know?
It's not super speed.
Is it super speed?
Probably not the best.
No.
Up there.
No, it's definitely the best. Like that's my number one, super speed. If you can react before anybody else can react, there's fairly nothing that can beat you.
Well, I mean, Quicksilver couldn't beat Superman.
Why?
Because what's he gonna do? Punch him? It's like
Yes.
I don't care how fast you are. You can't punch like iron or whatever. You're just gonna at super speeds break your wrist. You'd be the fastest at beating yourself. I mean, think of the scene where in Deadpool, in which Deadpool fights Colossus.
Okay.
It doesn't matter that he got the jump on Colossus. He broke his wrists.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you think that the Flash can beat Superman?
Probably.
Well, they're all gods, so
Yeah,
it doesn't.
but
So
I mean,
it doesn't
it's-
matter. So yeah, Marvel's like your
Mar-
street level heroes, and DC's like your gods that walk amongst men.
I think if you pick any two DC heroes and could say, could this one beat the other one, the answer would be yes. Like, could Superman beat Batman? Yeah. Could Batman beat Superman? Also yes. Could Wonder Woman beat Batman? Yes. Could Batman beat Wonder Woman? Also yes.
The thing that always gets me is whenever anybody talks about Batman, they're just like, "Can Batman beat this person?" Is like, does he have time to plan?
That's the meme of it. Does he have time for plan?
Yeah. Well, he's already got the plan. They're like,
Could the Fog beat My Bloody Valentine? Well, does the Fog have time to plan?
Well, I mean, yeah, but can Fog get down in a mine shaft?
Yeah, sure.
If you're a miner, could you answer the question down below? If you ever been like in the mine and like fog, like legitimate fog, I'm not talking like coal dust, gets down in there and like fogs up the place.
Well, see, the fog was supernatural fog. It moved against the wind, which means it can just it's like, oh, there's a guy in a hole we want to kill. Let's just move the fog. Oh, come on down.
Okay.
And
Okay, you like how we got off on a tangent and still brought it back around to the movie?
it was very hard and very
But
skid. You got to steer to the skid.
so there's one thing we can't glide by it. Mm-hmm. What do you think is the best superpower?
I don't know. Being indestructible might be pretty friggin' dope.
Yeah, but I mean, still, like, somebody can take you and chain you to the bottom of the ocean. You still drowned. Mm-hmm. So, but if a shark tries to gnaw on you, you're fine.
Well, I mean, you could have super speed, but if Superman throws you into space, I mean, you can't run your way out of it either.
Yeah, you can.
No. I mean, if you're taking if you have this power and you exist in a place where it doesn't do anything, that doesn't do anything, does it? I mean, all powers have. You have to start stacking powers in order. Superman is just kind of I gave my guy all these powers.
Yeah. This is the dude that showed up min-maxed
Yeah.
with a character that has the strength of 18 double aught.
Which is also when you have super speed, you have got to stack it with other stuff too. Because I mean, otherwise, imagine how boring it would be for you to run to France at your think of the distance between here and France, and you're just kind of running at a jog. How long and boring that would be. Because that's what super speed people should be doing, because they react really quick. So they should just be kind of running there, being like, what am I going to do tomorrow? I don't know. And just have all that time to think as they slowly run. To everyone else, it's super quick. But to them, they get to live every single footprint or footstep across as they run across the water, just being like, I got midway across the Atlantic. Okay.
Yeah, but
Is that another 3 seconds?
But see, that poses the old question: is he moving fast, or is just everyone moving slower?
Well, it doesn't necessarily matter because he's got the reaction time to do it. And if you can react that quickly, then that means you're thinking that quickly, right?
I mean, yeah, I would agree with you.
So he's living every single step. Just go out and jog and think of how much time you have between each of your steps to think about what you're doing that day.
So the one thing I liked, and I know we're getting off on a Marvel tangent here, but everyone likes Marvel now, so you'll be fine. But
So this is apparently how much fog good.
the fog's good.
Watch the fog.
Yes, the fog good. Watch fog.
There's not some people die, and some ghosts come out of the fog.
And it's John Carpenter. If you like John Carpenter, it's a good time.
It's good. It's good. I like the fog.
But still, getting back to what we were talking about.
So back to the tangent.
Yes. So the thing I always liked when they talked about Quicksilver's backstory is that everyone
Bores him
because they're talking slow. So that's they explained that's why he was always a prick, because
and that was kind of his representation in X-Men Evolution, where he's just kind of yeah, hurry up, come on, let's go, get it out.
Yeah,
but he's just kind of little asshole because he was moving at his super speed and everyone else is moving.
So I know you thought we were going to get away from it. Tim, what's your favorite superpower?
What's your favorite superhero?
Well, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero.
So you like shooting webs out your butt?
No.
Okay.
If I had to choose a superhero to be, it would be Dr. Manhattan. But
Yeah, I mean, that's just, he said he would be Dr. Manhattan, which is the proper choice because he's a god.
it's omnipotence. Like,
But you could still pick like any DC character and you still would have been a god.
I think Dr. Manhattan could beat up a lot of the DC people just because he's like a literal, like, oh, that guy, he's atomized, and he just thinks about it and the dude turns to dust. He's pretty on godlike power. He's pretty up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd pick Doctor, because then you like can't relate to anyone ever again.
Plus, you can't really fight him, right? Because you're just like, Dr. Manhattan, could you put your blue dick away, please? That was really distracting, bro. Could you please just put on some pants?
that's the power I meant.
Oh,
Tim said that's what he meant.
the power to stun people with your wang?
Oh!
Okay, got it. Hey, somebody get this guy some jorts over here, please.
Make me. No, you're right. You are right, sir.
Here, I'll atomize myself on some pants. Thank you. You made it go away again, you bastard. So, yeah, tangent over. Anyways, so, I know we sped through it, but would you recommend The Fog to people?
I mean, I think so.
No?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth a watch. I mean, I don't know if it necessarily beats out other movies. That if you're like, man, I can watch one movie today. Am I going to watch Josie and the Pussycats or The Fog? I would suggest you watch Josie and the
You're
Pussycats.
watching Josie and the Pussycats. I mean, it's if I'm being 100% honest, The Fog is one of those ones that I've caught on like TBS or one of those channels every now and then, and I'll watch it for a few minutes because I love Jamie Lee Curtis. But would I sit and watch the entire movie? Like if I was going to bed, it was on TV, and I need to get up early in the morning, would I turn on the TV or would I sit there and watch it? If it was like The Big Lebowski, Rocky Horror, or something like that, like The Thing, I'll sit there and I'll watch the movie till it's over. The Fog, I'd probably cut it off.
Well, The Fog kind of moves through its. I mean, it kind of meanders like Fog does, in that it's kind of builds on itself a little bit. 'Cause, I mean, you're watching like a movie in which people die, and in the first scene, 3 people die. And then they kill 3 more people over the course of the movie. So, I mean, there's only 6 people that get killed in that movie.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of it, it's just showing you scenes of people as they kind of are rolling the credits. So you have to watch the credits. So what are you going to watch? Nothing particularly important. You're just taking peeks around town of like, oh, the car horns are going. Oh, that's weird. Oh, this guy was in a store and like a milk bottle fell over. Ooh, and it's just kind of building atmosphere for like what comes later. So it's just like a slow roll.
Who knocked over that milk bottle? Sorry. Me hook hand every now and then gets snagged on these bottles.
Me was looking for 6 people to kill. We thought about you, but the door was closed.
I thought it was rum, but I think the vitamin D will mess with me scurvy. So,
And then you had like the scene where Nick picks up Jamie Lee Curtis's character in the car, and then like they're driving and all the windows explode, and you're like, oh, okay. And then later there's like, it cuts to them like back at his place in bed, and like, okay, I guess we're done with the spooky road scene. I guess we'll just move on to something like, the glass is broke.
yeah.
Okay, anyway.
John Carpenter was probably like, okay, we have to have these 6 death scenes, but like we need to fill it with like a lot of jump scares. So let's just get them all out of the way, and then I'll splice them in.
So I mean, it's fine. Watching it is just kind of, you could definitely see the classic horror movie aspect to it, and thinking about it in that kind of D&D sense I had. I mean, it would be kind of fun, like you guys wander into a town, and then like they mention the curse of 100 years or something like that, and then, I mean, it kind of reminds me of something we did in a game in which we showed up in town, and there was that ongoing curse in which people would just kind of feed people to the sea. And
Don't talk about that game.
But it just kind of reminds me of like a cool plot you would do in a game, but it needs to be built on a bit more.
Yeah,
I mean, you'd walk into town and like, some creepy ghost pirates, and you have to solve out how to free the ghost pirates. And it turns out you have to find the treasure and go out to sea and like throw it back to the pirates, and that solves the curse or something.
Gee, gang, I wonder which one of the people it is this week. Oh no, it's fog monsters. That's where it'd be where the Scooby Gang would just like completely die on gaffing hooks. So
Yeah.
so.
These monsters are real, Scoob.
Oh, well, I guess I'm going to hit Velma because if we're going down, I'm going down happy. So, watch The Fog. The Fog's a good movie.
So, now it's the Valentine Day movie.
Yes. So, we're going to pause for 2 seconds so you can go get your popcorn, snuggle up on the couch with your loved one, maybe roll a doobie because that'll make this a lot funnier. I love you, Nick. But just snuggle up with a good close friend, or just maybe just find somebody, yell out in the street, hey, want to snuggle? You never know.
Or if you're alone and don't like it, just be angry at the TV.
Or you can snuggle with me. I promise I'll put my mouth on the camera by the end of this.
I promise that will happen.
Yeah, no, because I know someone will touch a dick to the camera on your screen, and I think that I don't want that. Anyways, we're gonna take a small break. We'll be back with my Bloody Valentine. You like how I played that off? I blanked for like 2 seconds, and I was like, if I say it slowly, maybe they'll think it was intentional.
All right.
All right.
We'll be back with my Bloody Valentine. Ooh.